Hey superstars, welcome to another week of the Virtus Performance podcast. We've just finished recording episode 87. We have the wonderful Tessa Bottomley, former gymnast, former gymnastics coach, former horrible netball player. That's a direct quote from her. Tessa is one of our younger coaches at Virtus Performance. She's someone who spent 3 months with us last year doing our mentorship program. She spent a year or so before that as a client. She's someone that's been steadily rising through the ranks, and she's probably about 18 to 24 months away from taking my job. So, and she's still sitting in front of me, so I have to be nice. Today's conversation was a lot of fun. We dove into her experiences through high school, through that phase that we all go through of figuring out what the hell you want to do with your life, that we're all still going through. We talked a little bit about uni, a little bit about sport and being a coach, about what she has learned from all those experiences and how she wants to utilise all of those learnings to make herself and everyone around her a better person. Tessa's about to dive into her first year of her physiotherapy degree, so we had a little bit of a chat about the excitement and nerves and fears and stuff around what's coming up with that and how she wants to grow and transcend who she currently is as a person. So without further ado, here is Tessa. My personal and business goal is to be just a little bit better every day. I believe everyone, especially normal people, have a story to tell. The Virtus podcast exists to help us all find small ways of consistent improvement by discussing the journey and experiences of each of our guests. Tessa. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Hello. Hello.
You've finally managed to sneak your way on. You've been
it's only been
for ages.
6 months.
Yeah, it's been an interesting 6 months.
Yeah, it's been long but short. Really quick, but gone really, really slow.
Here's how I like to describe that. Right, it's gone quick, but lots of stuff's happened.
Yeah.
Does it feel like that?
Oh. It feels like that, but it also feels like nothing's happened. I don't know. It's weird. The past year just doesn't feel like it happened, but it did. And I don't feel like I achieved much, but I did. It's a good way to start.
Have you allowed yourself to actually look back and kind of go, well, 12 months ago Tessa would have been mind blown by what you've been able to achieve.
Yeah, I think that, and I get into I didn't do anything, I didn't achieve anything last year, and then I actually am hang on a second, I did a lot, and compared to where I was the year before, I changed a lot and overcame a lot, so
if you keep going in that trajectory, you'll be way better than everyone pretty soon.
Not quite. But
Not quite. All right, first question for you. What gets you out of bed in the morning?
My legs.
just a little bit of backstory. I told Tessa that we had that question coming up, and she said, my alarm. And I said, about 12 people have said that. So she thought, I'm going to come up with an answer that no one said yet. So why your legs?
Because if I didn't have them... Actually, this is going to contradict myself. I was going to say if I didn't have them, I wouldn't get out of bed. But there's people without legs that get out of bed. So... oh no.
You've been too smart for your own good.
Yes. Because they're the first things that hit the ground, and they're what I use to get out of bed.
Good. You're smart ass. Once you're out of bed, why do you do what you do?
This is gonna get a little bit deeper now. I don't know. Growing up, I loved what I was doing. I loved sport and the impact all my coaches had on me. And figured if I can have a little bit of impact like them, that'd be pretty cool.
What sports did you participate in growing up?
I did everything. I was pretty crap at most of them, but I did... Gymnastics was one I did for longest. I did that for 13, 14 years. I also did dancing, swimming, netball, athletics, pole vault, aerobics. I think that's about all of them.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. I like to just try everything and then realise I wasn't good at it, and so not do it anymore.
And then try something else.
Pretty much.
But then you're stuck with gymnastics because you're decent gymnastics.
Yeah.
Good. Why all the sports? Was it just something you love to do, or a sporty family?
Bit of both. I don't do much if I have lots of time on my hands. I'm very unproductive, if that's a word. Like, I would sit at home on the couch for 12 hours of the day if I could. And so if I fill up my days with lots, I don't sit on the couch for 12 hours a day.
And you do stuff.
Yeah, and so like during primary school, if I wasn't doing something after school, I wasn't doing something. And so I figured, well, I may as well just do lots.
Makes sense. Is that something you've carried into your very short so far adult life?
I think it's helped me realise what works in my life and what doesn't. And last year, I think when I look back on last year, the reason I sometimes think I didn't achieve much is because I didn't do much with my days. And so to me personally, because I had lots of free time, I felt like I didn't really do anything. But I needed that after I finished year 12 because I did lots in year 12 and then needed a break. So
yeah, and the cool thing, like one of the things I was talking about before is like the thing I love about this podcast is I can have someone on that's 60, 70, been through an incredible amount of life experiences. We can have someone that's like in the midst of like a quarter life crisis, and then we can have someone like you and
12.
Last week Jazz, who is in quotation marks 12 with so much ahead of you, but I think we don't, like I'm 27 now, we don't give you enough credit, like how much life experience you guys can fit into such a short period of time. Talk me through, and it's been, you ready? It's been 12 years since I did year 12.
Wow, you're old.
No, 12 years, 10 years. No, wait, 12 years? 10 years. I don't know why I said 12.
How old are you?
It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years since I did year 12.
Memories going of the old age.
Yeah, I got caught up in the numbers. And I remember it as being, for some of us, like me, who didn't really care too much about the result, I remember it being pretty cruisy, but my guess is that you weren't one of those students.
Your guess is wrong. Well, it's hard because through high school, I really applied myself and I really, really studied. And same in year 11. And then when I got to year 12, I kind of didn't study nearly as much as what I had in the previous years. So to me, it felt really relaxed and like
That's good.
Didn't do much. But
you had all of those years of...
Yeah, and I still, like, I did everything I had to and studied when I needed to and everything, but it wasn't nearly the amount that I'd put in previously. Like, I knew that I could have put in a lot harder, but didn't really want to.
Do you think that there's too much pressure on that 1 year?
Absolutely.
As someone who's, like, freshly out?
Yeah, well, like, I had so many friends who stressed and worried and used to get so upset and didn't do very well, like, because they just always stressed, always worried about it and never actually did much, and then were so disappointed at the end and so upset. And then there was me who didn't really do that much and did quite well and just applied myself when I needed to, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you manage your resources.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's a cool way to look at it, because I think you can, go put everything into it and stress yourself to the point of like no return, and not get the return you want. And are those friends that you kind of like have in your head, are they where they want to be now?
Absolutely, yeah. And like at the time, I remember like they were so upset, and then as soon as courses came out, everyone got into what they wanted. No one was no one was upset. Like everyone was happy and was like, oh well, that was
much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool learning piece for like anyone that's either going to go through it, or anyone that has kids that is going to go through it, or anyone that's like brother, sister, friend of someone that's going to go through it. It's really easy to say that, hey, it's not that big a deal.
But until you actually go through it, you don't realise that.
Yeah.
And I think like there are lots of things wrong with VC and Year 12, and could go on about them, but everyone takes away something from it. Like I took away that I probably should have applied myself a little bit more, and I needed to learn how to not burn out by the end of it and manage myself a little bit better. And then I had friends who took out of it that they really should have applied themselves more, and that they did nothing and things like that. And so like no matter what your score, you're going to take something out of it.
If you're aware enough to actually look back and kind of go,
yes.
I think I look at Year 12, and like you could go to high school in general or uni in general as like a microcosm for life. Like it's, you know, a really intense period where you can either go all in, apply yourself, be smart about it, be tactical, and give yourself time to like rest, rejuvenate, to optimize what you're doing, or you can just like throw everything at it and, you know,
see what happens.
Run home crying every night and see what happens, or you can just like, I'm just going to do fuck all.
Yeah.
And like thinking about that in society, where everyone there's a whole spectrum of people. How does it change how you're about to approach your first year of uni?
I know that I'm a lot more aware of the fact that I can burn out, and that I can't put 100% effort into everything all the time because it is not sustainable, which has helped me structure my time, make sure that I'm giving myself enough time off and to not feel guilty about it. When I am giving myself time off, I forgot what the question was now.
So you're gonna be a little bit smarter about resting and rejuvenating.
And knowing that it's allowed and needed.
That overwhelm isn't really going to help you in this situation. No,
definitely not. And stress will just make it worse, and so putting extra stress on myself is not going to help.
100%. When you were in high school, did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up?
No, definitely not. I went through like everything. I wanted to be a police officer, and then I wanted to do hairdressing, and then I wanted to do law and be a lawyer. And then when I actually finished Year 12 and got my score, I was like, holy shit, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like, I have this score and thousands and thousands of choices, and none of them really clicked with me. And so then I just kept coaching and doing what I liked. And then eventually that opened up more doors for me.
It's funny how life works that way.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Was there a moment, and this is like a two-part question. First part, do you now know what you want to do when you grow up?
I think so. When I was at uni on Monday, one of the lecturers said that there's like a 50% chance that what you have set in your head at the moment is not where you're going to be in 4 years when I finish my degree.
Yeah.
And so I think I know where I want to be, but I'm not saying that's where I'm going to be. Just kind of open to new things. And if something changes it, then that's okay.
Tell me what that looks like.
Ideally, I want to be one of the main physios for gymnastics as a sport, and like aerobics, cheer, those sorts of sports. I kind of want to be the go-to person. Like if someone's injured, then everyone just goes, oh, you have to see Tessa, she's awesome, sort of thing. And then I also do want to be coaching kids still and working with them in their sport.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty
clear.
Pretty clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was, and you obviously started with that I like sports bit, but like third year of uni, I was still like, I like sports. I was like, hey, what do you do when you grow up? I like sports.
Yeah. Football.
Yeah. Ooh. Was there a moment or like a period of time between finishing year 12 and getting your score and obviously Monday at uni where you went, this is what I want to do?
But I think during my mentorship at Virtus was a massive thing because I got to see Greg and see what he does and
shout out to the Fizz.
The fact that he doesn't work like any of the physios that I'd seen. Like growing up, I went to random physios in Frankston who work in offices that are like 2 meters by 2 meters, and it's just like, hi, bye sort of thing. Like it's
get
just
them in, get them out 15 minutes.
Yeah. And so growing up, I'd always seen that and was like, no, I don't want to work in an office, and know that I don't want to work in an office like that. And so seeing Greg and how he operates and the fact that he can still use all the gym equipment and he still does so much other stuff with his time and gets to travel everywhere and stuff like that really helped me realise that I don't have to be a typical physio that just sits in an office and doesn't really do much.
Yeah, 100%. I guess as soon as you kind of see that light, then you start to realise, and it's something that I probably realised like 4 years after you, but it was just like the fact that you can pretty much, and this is like the thing they don't tell you at school, kids, you can pretty much design your own career. Like you can design exactly how you want to live your life.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the middle of the day and we're sitting here recording a podcast, right? Like this morning I went and had some gin.
Yeah.
Like
you're deciding that.
Like I'm deciding that.
Yeah.
And like, yes, I've got a heap of responsibilities and we're going to have to catch up on that now, but that it's completely by design. It's not an accident. And you look at someone like Greg, and his life is exactly the same. He's able to.
That's what he wants to do.
Travel and teach and consult and do all these different things because that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think we need to have like I skipped over one of the questions I was going to ask you, but if we were to change something about school, it's just like we need to spend some time people working on what they actually love to do.
Yeah.
And working on
following your passions.
What that is. Following your passions, purpose, meaning, all of like the words that we use. But if we can do that, then and tell kids that hey, you don't have to
know exactly what you want to do.
You don't have to be an accountant. You don't have to fit into this box of what it looks like. You don't have to be the physio that works in a 2x2 box. Figure out what you want to do, figure out how it serves the world, and then people will pay you for it if you're good enough.
Oh, actually, that was the other thing that just reminded me of it. The other thing that helped me realise that I don't have to just be a normal just physio and that's it was Anna. Another shout out, because she's a paramedic who teaches yoga. I never in my life thought that was possible to do both, but it is, and
it works.
Yeah, exactly. And after I saw that, I was like, hang on, I can still coach and be a physio and do what I wanted. I was like, that's pretty cool.
It's teachers that are strength coaches, and that's just one example, but there's so many different things you could do.
Yeah.
But you've got to actually design that life. Like you can't just sit down and do a physio
wait for it to happen.
Like, people are going to pay me to go all over the world and teach. It's almost like you've got to do the thing first, and you've got to do it really well to a point where you're, well respected and etc. to be able to actually make that decision. Yeah. Yeah. Flashback. Let's skip back to like school. If you were to wave a magic wand and change 3 things to help kids be better prepared for the real world, what would you do?
One of them was so I went to 2 different high schools. I did year 7 to 10 at one and then VC at another. I was at Paddo and then Frankston. And
shout out to Frankston High School.
Yeah, everyone went there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Paddo was awesome because we had builders come and talk to us. We had paramedics. We had every single profession you could think of. Someone came and talked to us about it. And because they offered VCAL and VC and lots of different options, it was really good. So everyone kind of got a chance to see what they could. And then Frankston, it's like universities and like Monash Uni and Deakin Uni, and everything's just pointing towards uni. And so like a lot of the people I knew there their only option was uni.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not. You can do other things. And
you had that experience because of...
and so definitely making it compulsory that schools have to actually show different options, like not just what there is offered there.
That's a good answer.
I need 2 more things.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you do. Like, what were you thinking just on that? Like, I remember there was never a point in time while I was at school where I didn't think I was going to uni.
Yeah.
Like, and like if I was to do it again, I'd probably go the same path, but there was never that like, do I go to uni? Do I not?
I could do something else.
Yeah, I could do something else. And it wasn't like, I was thinking the other day, because we were talking about this, and I was like, was it like a parent thing that mum and dad just expected me to go to uni? And like, I don't remember a time where mum or dad said, you have to go to uni.
Yeah.
So it was probably just purely a perception thing or expectation thing from me.
Yeah.
Because of my environment. Like, mum and dad both went to uni, and, you know, most of our extended family would have, and things like that. But it was just always it was always the next step after school.
Yeah.
But there are so many other options.
Yeah, and I definitely think that as well. Like, everyone from Frankston was like, oh yeah, I'm going and doing this and going and doing that. And then I was like, I'm going to take a gap year and I don't know what I'm going to do. And everyone that I said that wasn't taking a gap year that I said it to was like, why don't you just go to uni? Just figure out what you want to do and just go. I was like, oh, and just eeny, meeny, miny, mo, a degree. Like, that's a lot of money to do that.
Go straight from school to uni, and then like you go straight from uni to your job, and then you work for 40 years, and then
you
retire and then you die.
Yeah, and like so many people had that attitude, and then like before the census date, majority of the people that I knew that said that had dropped out of their course because it wasn't what they wanted to do. And so also, actually, this is the second thing, making students aware that a gap year is allowed. Like, schools, I think a lot of the reason that they don't promote it is they like the statistic that 80% of our cohort got into their course and is studying this year. It's like, yes, but how many of them dropped out of their course?
That's some good awareness from you.
Yeah.
That is definitely a problem.
Yeah, and so I think, making sure that everyone knows there's so many more options out there than uni. And uni's still a good option. Like, it's not bad or anything. But
it's just an option.
Yeah.
And we're definitely moving fast. Like, you know, we're moving fast past that need to go to uni as like the only option.
Yeah. I think it is, but coming out of school, it's also not fast. Like, it's in school, like, everyone who did VCE and got an ATAR was planning on going to uni. Like, it'll probably take some time, and it's just a perception change. Like, definitely,
we start to realise that you don't need to go to uni to do all the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
But this is like a part of that conversation that I think, as someone that employs people, I see uni as like and obviously we have the mentorship and all these other hoops you guys got to jump through, but I see it as like, okay, you can commit to something for 4 years, 3 years, and that's why like people that have spent a long time in a sport, it's almost like a precursor to being good at a job like this, because it's hard and you've got to be disciplined, you've got to be consistent, you've got to show up, and you've got to perform. And uni's one of the things. Like, by no means is it like a precursor to being a good coach or being a good physio or anything. You kind of have to do it for a good physio. Or a doctor. If you're thinking about just sliding into medicine, it's probably not going to work. But it's a good starting point. It doesn't hurt.
Definitely.
And you start to learn how to think critically, and learn how to like go, okay, well, maybe that article that I read or that YouTube video that I watched on Flat Earth wasn't the most peer-reviewed piece that I've ever seen.
Definitely.
What's the last one? You do one more.
I think schools also need to put a little bit more importance on health. I know mental health is quite a big thing for, like, in schools. They usually do kind of good at it, and it's promoted quite a lot. But especially in VCE, like health and kids' health isn't put into or isn't a priority.
Yeah.
And like so many people I know stopped everything when they went into year 12, like stopped all sport and stopped doing everything and just studied all the time. It's not healthy. Like you shouldn't be sitting down for that long. And I think the fact that sport and like health as a subject aren't compulsory some of them aren't compulsory in like year 9 and 10 is a big issue, because like half your students might not be learning about something that's so important and will set them up for life.
There's a coach coming out in you, like that importance of health and movement and all that kind of stuff.
Or even like, I know that if I sat still for too long and didn't do anything, I just was unproductive, didn't do anything, like just would get agitated. And whereas if I went out for a walk and came back 20 minutes later,
you'd feel fantastic.
Yeah, you feel so much better.
I had 2 days at this desk and it's killing me. I think that's like that movement piece, and that like if you get someone who goes to year 12, starts worrying about their results, worrying about the outcome, starts getting stress head, worried about everything, getting upset about how they're going and all that kind of stuff, and then not doing all that extracurricular stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, we understand that mental health play and how it affects that, but it's almost like every time they start getting stressed in their adult life, they'll go, oh, I just need to shut myself down and not do anything else.
Yeah, just apply myself to that one thing, and that's the secret.
It's a quick fire way to drive yourself crazy, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Talk to me about your gap year, and more so because I did a gap year. Did you know what you were going to do during your gap year when you decided to have a gap year?
You said gap year a lot.
4 times.
I knew that I loved to coach. Like, I'd been coaching for 4 years at that stage.
Coaching gymnastics?
Gymnastics, yes. I knew that I loved that. And so figured I would do my Cert 3 and 4 so I'd be qualified to coach more and in a different environment and kind of see where that went. But I really didn't have a clue where it was going to take me, or if I was actually going to use it, or if it was pointless and shouldn't be doing it or anything like that.
It's very similar to like kind of how I looked at it. Like I finished year 12 and I was like, I'll apply for exercise science and then defer, and then I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do with my year? And like 2 weeks into Jan, I saw like a little ad for like a Cert 3 and 4 and diploma.
Yeah.
The government, like this is back in the
Did you have computers then?
This is back in 2010, mate.
Was there internet?
Yeah, there was. We had like wind-up internet. Where they were like throwing a lot of money at Cert 3 and 4, right?
Yeah.
It was like a big boom of personal training and stuff like that. So I think the whole course cost me like a couple $100. And it was a 10-month course. So 10-month course, 3 days a week. I was like, cool, I'm locked in for the year. I don't really have to think about it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me seeing that ad, like I don't know if I would have got into coaching. Like I probably would have done exercise science, but
if you would have had the same outcome.
Yeah. Like, so I was just like, I'll just focus on footy and I'll do this,
Yeah.
I think I played Pokemon on my phone for most of the year.
Yeah.
Just because it was like a Cert 3 and 4 is still and was pretty basic.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I grew up playing sports. I kind of understood all that kind of stuff. And was playing footy and working at Rebel, and I was like, that was my life for that year. How did you go? Like, I guess adding coaching to your Cert 3 and 4, and then like while all your friends were starting uni, how did you go kind of like navigating your way through that 12 months?
It's a good question. I did struggle. Like I'll start again.
Use your words.
I applied for exercise and sports science and then deferred it, and then probably 2 or 3 days before all my friends were set to start uni, I undeferred my offer and then accepted it, and then a day later dropped out.
Meltdown.
Pretty much. Well, like everyone was going to O Week and really excited, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to have any friends, I'm not going to know anyone, and I'm just going to and I was doing my course online, so I really didn't
meeting
have
people there.
Yeah, I didn't really have anyone else, and so it was really scary. It was really hard. But then I just kept doing what I had been. So I just kept coaching, gymnastics coaching. I kept doing aerobics. I kept training at Virtus, and I was coming more often. And then eventually Mitch was like, yeah, you should do this mentorship, and kind of just forced me into that as hard as he could.
And here we are.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's all his fault.
So like, it's kind of cool because it's like kind of a bit of sliding doors moments. Like you've got 4 or 5 kind of key points in your life where you've made a decision to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And you know, it's gotten to you to the point here. Is there anything if you go back you'd change?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I would probably try and do a little bit more with my Cert 3 and 4. Like I brushed through that and just wanted to get my qualification. Like I knew that I could coach, and I knew that I would be able to do everything. I probably could have applied myself a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And gotten more out of it. Whereas I didn't really get much out of it, and got more from the mentorship instead.
But is it like you're the kind of person that learns by doing?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely kinesthetic learner. So like the online, sit there.
Yeah, it was hard.
There's no surprise that you just wanted to rush through it.
Yeah, and just start coaching.
Yeah, 100%. Talk to me about how you got stuck in coaching, because obviously you were a gymnast first, and then you kind of shifted to doing both.
Yeah.
How'd that happen, and when did that happen?
I think I was, how old was I? 14. Just turned 14, I think. And I started just kind of shadowing and helping out at my gymnastics club, and just kind of watching classes and following around coaches.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the coaches left, or there was a spot that needed to be filled or something. And so again, kind of just got pushed into that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this isn't actually that bad.
You just like float down the river, letting people just...
Yeah, just waiting for people to push me. Yeah. And so I just did that and liked that, and then got to a stage where I wasn't getting that much out of training anymore, and I was getting really scared of skills and was thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to break my neck, and I was like, wow, this is pointless doing things that I'm going to break my neck doing. And so then stopped training and just started coaching more.
Yeah, and then slowly it started shifting the other way, and just more and more coaching, more and more coaching.
Yeah, and then eventually I got to the stage with like last year, I was like, wow, I've done gymnastics my entire life. I don't know who the hell I am without gymnastics, sort of thing. And so figured I should probably stop for a little bit so I could figure out.
That's a good way to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and it was really like, I'd done it since I was 5. Like that was all I knew. And if someone asked for an interesting fact about me, I said, oh, I coached gymnastics, or I did gymnastics for 13 years. Like it's always something that I was. And so it's weird now not being in the sport, but it's also good because I definitely needed a break from it.
Yeah, and it allows you to it opens you up to other experiences.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Kept coaching it, like, you know, like I kind of say about VGT. If you coach the same VGT for every week for the year, you don't necessarily get better at VGT.
Yeah.
What was it like that whole identity piece with like shifting who you were, like being tied to gymnastics, to who you are being who I see sitting in front of me?
It was hard. I struggled. I think, like, I kind of knew last year, or when I went into last year, so start of 2018, that I would probably not be coaching for that much longer, or at least the same sort of hours and doing my same job.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of always preparing myself for it. And then about halfway through the year, I just was like, nah, I've had enough. Like, I can't do it anymore. And just I don't know, got really stuck and was just butting heads with everyone and really, really struggling as a coach. And I wasn't motivated or anything. And then just the way I was going, like I wasn't a good coach. I wasn't being a good employee. I wasn't helping everyone out. And so I was like, nah, I have to leave, and just made that decision. As soon as I did, everything got so much easier, and I started enjoying it so much more. And like, so the last 6 months were actually really good because I knew that it would only be the 6 months and I would just be able to leave after that and everything. So
do you feel like, because obviously like internally you knew that like the time was soon to be up before you kind of made that decision, was there that like part of you that was just like fighting it?
Definitely. Well, it was more, I think it was more the fact that I was in my comfort zone and I was safe. I worked 2 minutes from my house where I had practically grown up. Like I worked with my sister, like I'd known my boss for 14, 15 years and I knew everyone around me. I had an awesome group of girls who I'd had for 3 or 4 years and were coaching them, and they were great. And so everything was familiar and comfortable. And so that was the hardest bit, was having to leave that. Yeah.
It's a big move. And I think, can you see like how people get stuck?
Yeah, doing the same thing.
Or doing things because they're just like,
definitely.
It's comfortable. And you were able to get out of it, so good job.
Yeah, thank you.
I hung on to, like, it's a simple one, but I hung on to Rebel Sport for like 2 years longer than I should have, just because it was comfortable, it was easy. Also, great employee discount, so shout out to the employee discount. But it was, I realised, like, when I finally pulled the pin, I was like, why did I hang on to that for so long?
Yeah, I didn't need to.
But we're creatures of habit. We want to find that.
Definitely.
We want to find that comfort as many times as we can throughout the day. You obviously, you dove into the mentorship, and that was kind of a big 12 weeks of personal professional development for you.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for the Tessa at the start of that mentorship, if you were able to like sit in front of her now?
Probably just have confidence in myself. It did take me a really long time. I knew I could coach, and I did know that right at the start, but I was still so scared, so intimidated by everyone, doubting myself all the time. And so I definitely could have gone into it with a lot more confidence, and just not doubted myself nearly as much as what I did.
It probably took me like a month longer than it probably should have to figure out that you could actually coach.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I just doubted myself all the time. I remember I was really quiet in the first few weeks, and
mate, you said nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And you've been training with Mitchie for a couple of years.
Yeah, like a year at that stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And I did just stick to Mitch because I knew him, and Cam scared the shit out of me, and it was really hard to then be like, hang on, I can do this, and if I just say what I'm thinking in my head without questioning it, nothing bad's going to happen, and I'm just going to...
Sometimes you occasionally fuck up and then we fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People are just like, oh yeah, thanks, that's helpful. Or they'll be like, nah, I don't get that. Go, okay, cool, I won't say that again then.
Yeah. And then that's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
And you figured that out eventually.
Yeah.
What are the main takeaways, what are the things that you learned that'll kind of stay with you for a long time over that period of time?
A lot of it was confidence in myself, and kind of pulling myself up when I'm being stupid and doubting myself. There were so many times I remember when I would be like, oh no, I can't say this correction to them because they're going to think I'm dumb, or they're going to be like, who's this 12-year-old telling me what to do and stuff like that. And then slowly I started to say things, and no one cared that I was 12 years old, and that they did respect me and stuff like that. And so I think knowing that it doesn't matter what I'm going to say, and having that sort of belief in myself, it was a good way of actually showing myself that
Yeah, I think that's important because you couldn't just tell yourself that,
No.
hey, I'm good enough to do this, or like, I need to be confident. You actually had to do it.
Yeah, and realise that, these people aren't as scary as what I thought, and Cam is actually kind of nice sometimes.
He's a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for everyone listening at home, those of you that don't know Tessa, she's not actually 12. So
I am actually 19.
There's no like child labour violations or anything going on.
Confusion.
So we're all good. Everything is above board, I promise. It's really cool that you can now look back and see that. And then obviously we had, how long has it been now since you finished? Like 7, 8 months?
Probably.
Yeah. How's that 8 months differed to your 12 weeks in the mentorship, from going from a mentorship student to a coach, and kind of what has it taught you about the world or yourself?
Another good question. It's taught me that I can coach. Like, I don't have to do gymnastics, and I don't have to be in my comfort zone all the time. Like, if I step out of it, and like the mentorship was a big thing for me. Like, it was scary, and I was only like 18 at the time, 19. And so it was really hard to be working with all these who looked like 50-year-old people. Like, to me, looked so much older and so much more responsible and wiser and everything. And now I'm like, they're just people. And so it really helped me break that barrier of age. And like, now I feel confident talking to anyone and don't have that doubt that I used to have all the time. I have kind of forgot the question again. I forgot where I was going.
That was like the shift, your shift. And then like, what has it taught you about, I guess, everything. The world and I
think, what does it tell me about the world? That if I ask for things, I get them.
Oh, funny that.
And like, the worst thing someone's going to say is no, which really doesn't matter. You just find another way to get them to say yes. You just get Mitch to ask. And like, that really helped. Like, I asked for a job and got it. I asked for lots of things, and I think again it came down to confidence and knowing that, or telling myself the worst they're going to say is no, and doesn't really matter if they say no, sort of thing, and just questioning what I was actually thinking and doubting more.
It's and for your own records, you didn't get a job because you asked for it. You got a job because you were confident enough for me to know that you'd take care of our clients, and you were confident enough to know that, for me to know that you were going to continue to want to learn and continue to want to grow. And you gave a shit, and like, that was it. And you kept having a crack. And I think that's like, and then secondary to all that stuff, you asked. There's been guys in the mentorship program before that haven't asked the right questions, or haven't shown interest early enough. And even though they're incredibly competent coaches, like, they'll miss that opportunity because they don't ask or talk about it, or at least like say, like, hey, is
have
there
a conversation?
Like, it's just a conversation. Like, I think you asked me pretty early on. Like, Mitch asked me pretty early on. Jazz asked me like week 1 because you told her to. So can we stop that system? Because otherwise, I'm just going to
hire everyone.
I hear people asking me like 6 months before. One of the biggest growth areas I've seen in you is like your ability to not only coach people, but your ability to kind of mentor the current students. Has that been something that you've intentionally done, or it's just been like, well, I've been through this, I can help them?
I think a bit of both. I think it's really cool speaking to them, and I can't remember, I was talking to Jess about this or something the other day, and we were just talking about how, like, I think someone came up to me and asked me a question that was like literally a question I asked myself every single day doing the mentorship. And it was really cool to be able to give my input and my perspective on that, because I did go through it. And to know that I'm not asking that question anymore and I'm not that person anymore, like, it was cool. And like every question, like every time one of the guys comes up to me and asks me something, I'm like, wow, I thought that 6 months ago. I was like, that's amazing. Like, I am not that person anymore. That's and awesome. So it's really cool. Like, especially with Jazz, so many of the questions she has, or like so many of the doubts that she has, were ones that I had as well.
Yeah.
And to know that now I don't have them, it shows me how much I have grown and have changed as a person.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's a nice like little bit of like reflection for you to do that.
Yeah.
And you know, like even I find sometimes like been doing this for a long time now, but you'd ask a question and you feel like you already answered it before you really think about it, and then you go, oh yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a complete idiot.
Yeah.
I'm like a mostly idiot.
Yeah. And like, having that. I mean, when I first started coaching at Virtus, I was quite intimidated by some of the guys that were coming up through the mentorship, because I was like, they're at uni, they know so much more than me, like, they're going to ask me a question I'm not going to know, and then they would ask me something and I would be like, oh, I can answer that question, and they would want to keep asking me questions. I was like, wait, they want to learn from me? Like, that's insane.
And then when you don't know, and when they ask something you don't know, you're like, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, let's try and find an answer. Let's ask someone else, or Google it, or figure it out, like, what we actually need to do to find that answer. And like, I find it with like you guys, even straight out of school, or like we've had master students, we've had physios, we've had like long time strength coaches do it. Like, it shows you where your edges are as a coach, because you start to go, like when someone will ask you a simple technical question like, okay, what's your best cue to stop a elbow bend in an overhead carry? And it's like, what is my best cue? Like, it just makes you reiterate, like, do I actually know what I'm talking about? And if you don't, like,
figure it out.
It's just an opportunity to figure it out.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for anyone either going through it currently, or anyone who might want to do some sort of program like that? Like, it doesn't have to be here. There's plenty of great internships out there.
Just to like commit to it, and just to put in as much as you can into it, because if you do, everyone around you will give just as much back. And just to have a go, like, you're there to learn, so people aren't going to care if you make a mistake, because you are there because you don't know everything, because you're wanting to learn more.
No one knows everything.
No, absolutely not. But so I think just don't be scared to make mistakes, because no one's going to care if you do.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
Same thing goes now that you're a coach.
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Title changes, the way you live your day changes a little bit, but whether you're like CEO or like intern, it's exactly the same at any business.
Yeah.
Everyone's just doing their best with their current capacity.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. They're trying to, I guess, extend or transcend that who they are.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
What does actually no, another question about coaching. What are your current holes as a coach? And this can kind of move to a bigger question of like, what are your current like holes or growth areas as a person?
Definitely and it's been it for the past year, like, and I've known since I moved away from gymnastics, it's I think more my knowledge, like my technical knowledge. I know that's not near where it should be, or near where I want it to be, sort of thing. And it's been something that I've worked on, and going into physio, something that I know will get stronger, like all my anatomy, I'm going to have so much more time to work on it and actually have an exam on it and everything like that. And so that side of my coaching definitely isn't up to par.
Yeah. You're in the it's definitely up to par, but it's not up to your lofty standards, which is a good thing because
you become complacent.
Neither is Greg's, neither is Cam's. Like there's always going to be like room to grow, but you're in the wonderful position of being able to coach in the morning and apply stuff, and then go to uni for a couple of hours, learn more,
come and apply more,
and go, oh, that's how that works. So here's what doesn't work, and it's going to be. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see you develop both sides of the skill set this year.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for around just diving into uni? Obviously, we spoke about having a year off, kind of figuring it all out while your friends are at uni, and now like you're about to dive into uni, and you're 3 days into O week.
Yeah. I think probably the fact that I can see myself doing it excites me the most. Like the fact that on Monday, one of our lecturers was going through what we're doing next week, and like we start doing massage next week in our first prac class, and we start doing we're learning about cases and going to be role playing different scenarios and stuff like that for if people come to me with those issues. And the fact that I actually get to do it and get an environment that I can do it safely is really exciting.
Yeah.
Because like there's so many times when I feel like I want to be able to help someone with an injury, or I want to be able to give them more advice or something like that. And the fact that I'm actually going to be allowed to and going to like know what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing and stuff like that is really cool. So
it's exciting.
Yeah,
that's awesome. How like outside of the physio stuff and like the technical aspects of it, how do you want to develop over the next like 6-12 months?
As a person, as a coach?
Yeah. I don't know, I think it's the same question. Like you were part of the crew that went up to Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and like that was kind of a big. I thought it saw it as like a big kind of mindset shift changer kind of deal, in terms of what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
How did that conversation affect you, and how does it like affect the next however long?
There was like 20 questions in there. I forgot what the first one was.
I tend to do that.
How does it affect me? I think over the next few months and year, I want to make sure I keep improving everything, not just like I know I'm going to be putting lots into uni to be a better physio, but I also know that my end career isn't just doing physio, and so I want to make sure I keep doing little courses or doing little trips to Sydney and like doing lots of things that are still going to help my coaching and help or even just benefit me in my life, like savings and different mindset stuff. And
I call it learning how to be an adult.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Making sure I do that too.
The Don't Be Shit series. I'm currently going through the Don't Be Shit with Money, like little task book, and it's working. 3 days.
Wow.
3 days in.
It's amazing. Like a book works.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought? But it's one of those things that you start to realise how much the stuff you learn at uni, and I know you're already learning this stuff, but how much uni will help your coaching, and how much coaching will help your life, and how much life will help your relationships, and how much, like it's all just this melting pot of skills that you learn that helps everything. Yeah. And I think it's really important for anyone that's like diving into something and like all that time coaching gymnastics and all that time doing gymnastics, and I'm sure you can look back at all the times where someone threw a ball at you in netball and you probably dropped it or let it hit your face.
Yes.
Or you did athletics or pole vault, all those times, all of that is just little ways of getting better and adding context to what you're actually doing and where you're actually headed. Yeah. And it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is.
I got 3 questions for you to finish off.
Okay.
Actually, no, I've got 4 questions for you.
Oh.
Tell me about World Challenge, because you explained a little bit about it before. What is it? Why'd you do it? And what'd you learn from
it? World Challenge is it's a program ran in most schools, lots of schools, that takes a group of kids or high school students overseas for usually, mine was 4 weeks, to just go overseas and do different things. And the way World Challenge structures it is you do a week on a project, so helping out something. You do a week trek, a week of relaxation time, and you have a week kind of travel and everything like that. And so I went to Malaysia, and the idea of World Challenge is that it's a student-run expedition. So like our first night of accommodation was booked and that was it. And
wow.
Our teachers, we had 2 teachers with us and 1 World Challenge leader, and they didn't have much input, and we had to budget. Like, we got given, here's 10,000 baht, now do what you want for the next month with it, pretty much. And like, so we had to budget, and we had to book our accommodation, we had to pay for our food, and we had to figure everything out.
That's pretty powerful.
Whilst we're there. Yeah. And for like 16-year-old Tessa, it was a challenge.
What was the main like culture shocks for 16-year-old Tessa?
It was like, by that time I'd been to America, I'd been to Singapore, I went to Fiji when I was 4, which I don't remember much of. And so like, I'd been most places in Australia, but I'd never really been somewhere third world. Like Singapore was a little bit, but it's a pretty affluent part of Asia. Yeah, it's quite a wealthy country. And so going to Malaysia and seeing the fact that as soon as you're out of the airport, everything is falling apart. Like, the sidewalks were terrible. There was people everywhere living on the streets, and like, it was really different to see. I think the biggest cultural shock was the fact that Kuala Lumpur, like, actually as a main city, was not great still. Like, I was expecting it to be like Melbourne, and then as you go further away, it gets worse and worse. But it's the whole country, pretty much. So that was crazy.
You make grateful for what we have here.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Like, one of our projects was at a boarding school for kids whose families like live in the jungles. And so like, we went and visited one of the family's tribes, and they literally lived in huts and didn't have clothes and didn't have technology and didn't have anything. And so it was crazy to think, like, I can't remember, it was like 2016 or something. I was like, oh yeah, the world's like modern, everyone's got houses and has a job, and to see that there's people that literally just live in the jungle and hunt for food and cook that food, and like, it was insane. Like, it was really crazy. Yeah,
it shows you how wide and varied and varied the world is.
Yeah.
And how many different ways people live, and even though like where the world is, 3 years later, the world is probably a little bit getting more modernised, more modernised, and technology's getting bigger and bigger, but there's still going to be pockets of that.
Yeah.
Probably forever.
Yeah.
It's it's really cool. Do you have, I guess, big travel ambitions like in the future, or is that something that's like kind of on the back burner at the moment?
Definitely on the back burner at the moment. It's something that I would love to do, and with uni, like, they're talking about all the different opportunities. Like, we can work overseas. Yeah. And there's so many different trips and stuff, and they're definitely stuff that I'm going to look into and would love to do, because I know how much I got out of those, like that trip and so many other trips that I've been on. So it's definitely something that I want to keep doing forever.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got heaps of travel tips for you. Heaps of places. Anyway, all right, so 3 questions for you to finish off.
Okay.
What are you most proud of?
Oh, I didn't think about these. What am I most proud of? Myself.
Why? As if you didn't know that was coming as a follow-up question.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty... one of what I think is my best quality is that I'm pretty open to people's, or not like switched on to people's emotions and stuff like that. And so I am pretty proud of myself that I can understand what people are going through. And I think, this is going to make me sound like I have a big head. I am proud of myself, the fact that I can do that, because I know it's not something that I've always been able to do.
Yeah.
Like, I very much used to be in my own bubble and didn't really care what anyone else thought.
Yeah.
And then now I can see, I like to put myself in other people's shoes, and I can see that
See how much
their struggles
stuff,
and and so I think that ability to be able to do that from when I was like 16 and didn't
Do you
care
think
about
that's
anything.
come from being a coach, from seeing other people struggle, from travel, from not being an angsty teenager? Where do you think it's come from?
I think a bit of everything.
Yeah. Experiences.
Yeah. I think going through things as well, and having people who can do the same sort of thing. Like when my mum had a motorbike accident, and having people that could put themselves in my shoes helped me so much. And having people that could empathise and sympathise with me really did help me get through it. And so I think that really helped me, like seeing how much it helped me
Yeah.
help others.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. What are you most confident about?
I sound confident. I don't know. What am I most confident about? My sass.
Tessa's getting sassy. So if anyone can help Tessa be less sassy, that'd be great. She's getting a bit big for her britches.
Just a little. I think it's probably going to contradict what I'm saying right now,
that
but
happens a lot.
I think... Oh, I've kind of forgotten now. Wait. I think I'm most confident about the fact that I'm confident what I know.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like I know that I can coach, and I know that I can write programs, and I know that I can help people through mental blocks and stuff like that. And I'm really confident in all of those abilities that I do have.
You know you can just keep building on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than feeling like you have to go back to the start all the time.
Yeah.
Which is definitely common. Last question for you. What are you most excited for?
What am I most excited for this year?
It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. It's going to be a challenge, like, and I know that. And I know I'm really going to struggle through uni with everything. But I'm excited for that challenge. I'm excited to push myself and to learn and to grow and to be better.
Good answer. Yeah. I guess you got so many people that are here to support you and help you through it, so you'll be fine. Mate, good job.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on.
I'm only sweating a lot.
Nah, it happens. It's not even that warm in here. You're just nervous.
I am.
Last one for you. Tell me a joke.
No! You said you weren't going to ask this question.
What do you got for me?
What do you
got for the people at home?
I don't have jokes. I'm not a funny person. I'm literally not going to be able to think of one.
And on that note, be good. See you guys.